Right on. What's happening, folks? We're over here. I got a lot. It's pretty squared away. All I'm gonna do is just there's a lot of like salt kind of in the ground. It's I'm trying to think exactly what it is. I can't remember, but so every time it rains, you get this crust that'll come to the top of the surface. It's this white crust material, and you just take your blade and drive around, knock it all down. That looks 10 times nicer than this crusty ground. Like whenever I get over here, I'll go ahead and show you guys, but the stuff I'm talking about. So it ain't nothing too hard work. Like I said, I'll probably be here 30 minutes and then I'll be loaded up heading out of here. So stick around.
Come on. You're watching the Uncle Mike YouTube channel. Stick around.
So this is like the type of material I'm talking about. So you just step on it right. Mind you, it rained like a day ago, but like I said, this crusty layer right here just comes up here, and it doesn't look good. It looks a lot better once you knock it down. So we'll come through here real quick and make a few passes and knock all this down. So it doesn't take much, just a little bit of driving around here. Got the box blades set. This front yard's not perfectly level, so it's hits in some spots, and then I drop the material in the lower spots, so it's a nice process. There's not much really to it. You can see here I'm just pretty much making laps around this front yard, hitting that crusty dirt area, breaking it up, and it just mixes it in and stuff. So I got the Dodge pulled up, oil draining as we speak. It's ready for an oil change, so gonna go ahead and drain the oil out, slap a new air filter in it. Maybe one of these days I might get a aftermarket one, but I really don't see the point. This ain't no race truck. The stock one works just fine, and you can get them at your local parts house. Anyways, we got a 51607 oil filter here by Wix. I'm gonna go ahead and pre-fill this thing, and then I'll drop the filter off the truck, throw this back in. Always make sure your rings do not stick on the case or the block or whatever your problem may be at hand. Typically it's an engine, whether it's engine block or it's a side of a case or something. If you're working on something that's not an engine. Anyways, make sure your O-ring doesn't stick, because that is a recipe for disaster. This joker was on there. Like I said, I put this thing on hand tight 5,000 miles ago. Would not come off, but got her off. Just gotta finish draining it up. But I take it into the auto parts store. Same with this oil. Recycle that oil. But we'll go ahead and top this thing off. And we'll finish out this whole oil change here with just a new filter. A little service on the truck. Oh, get out of there. Is there another latch in there? I don't remember. Been a while. It's doggone tight, man. There she is. It ain't the dirtiest thing ever, but it's got about 10,000 miles on it, so it's dirty enough to be changed, though, in my books. We'll go ahead and slap this one in there. Should have unbolted this doggone manifold. It'd probably be a lot easier. So I'd take her on loose because I can't get it to pop on. So latch it down so it doesn't come off. And then put that horn back in there. I'll get in there, come on. Come on. Get in that place where you need to be. Set the phone down and it fell right in place, so snug her back down. Make sure she's good and tight. Good deal. Service is done on the pickup here. She's ready to go. Always take your used oil in for recycling. And now that the Dodge is done, we're rolling over here to the Chevy, the Tahoe here. Go ahead and do the same thing on this little oil change action and see what happens. She's draining. Gotta snatch that filter loose and let it drain as well. Busted that filter loose and she's draining on now. And we'll just go ahead and top her off. Got the drain plug in and tight, oil filter on and tight. Always pre-lube your O-ring on the oil filter and always verify that the old O-ring came off with the old oil filter or you will have some major issues. If you don't catch it, blown up motor is what you're gonna get. There we go. Got 7 more quarts to dump in there. I don't have my funnel right now because all my stuff's packed up, so I'm using this little small funnel. And I think it's kind of similar to mine, but I use a transmission funnel actually on this because it's a way higher, bigger mouth, and it's easier to dump a, 5-quart jug into. So I got a 5-quart jug I gotta dump into here, and it's gonna end up being a 2-hander. And this makes 3. And then all I got left is that 5-quart jug. Should be ready to run. Let me just tell you right now, that's slick. Do an oil change, pop the cap off, American flag cover. I like that, boy. Greasy. Omega cab. I'm on the truck. Ooh, tore the concrete all to hell. I've got this car here. It's a beam front end, Volkswagen rear end pretty much. Anyways, this thing is it's an older Volkswagen. Motor's blown up on her. Anyways, I, on the other hand, have a different motor. So a few years back, I helped a guy do an engine swap on a Silverado, 1500 Silverado. He had a 4.8 liter, V8, and he was just swapping out to a similar year 6.0. So we did the swap and it was on one condition. I got to keep his old motor. So I have the motor. There's a fully dressed 4.8 right there. So it's got a little bit of dirt and grime on it, but it's, like I said, it's fully dressed. So, and while I was stationed at my duty station, I found this stuff on Facebook Marketplace. That's an LS adapter, which is the same as a cast iron 534860. Same things. But that's for an LS. There's a flywheel. Only thing I'm missing is a clutch. So, well, maybe a pressure plate too, but I don't know. That's all your mounting hardware in that ARP box, and then those are the new valve cover seals for this thing right here because it's leaking out of the valve covers. I've just since pressure washed it off, but it's been sitting like this for quite some time. So now that I'm back out here in the wild, wild west, I'm gonna start working on that as well. That car is a beam car. This car is an A-arm car, so this ride a little bit better, things like that. And like I said, I'm gonna start working on that thing out there, doing a little swap on it, and shoot for something like this. Now, mind you, this is a higher end transmission. That's like a Mendiola series transmission, which is based off of a bus transmission from like a Volkswagen car. The thing about the Volkswagen transmission compared to this transmission is this is a lot stronger than that, because that's a 002 bus trans out there. So